This time on Guys Talk Knives, we're talking S35VN steel, which is a great super steel. But before we get into this episode, make sure you're subscribing to this channel, make sure you're ringing that notification bell. It's time for Guys Talk Knives.
Yes, it is.
It is!
That's Andy.
That's Jason.
How are we today?
As if they're going to talk back to us.
They might. They could be down at the bottom just typing away right now. Of course, this one isn't live, so it doesn't really matter. Exactly.
Nice.
I think everybody uses the same. Yep. That's actually what his keyboard sounds like.
As well as some strange alien tapping.
It's actually tied into an old school mimeograph machine in his office. Because he's a Luddite.
Wow. Wow.
Luddite.
You know what's crazy is I was watching, of all things, Independence Day. And here's what made me think of this, right?
Sure.
So my daughter has moved away. She is an adult. She has moved away to Savannah. So we'll chat on occasion just to keep in touch and all of that. I'm chatting with her and we're talking about, I'm sitting there backspacing the whole time. That's what made me think of this conversation. But we've both watched Independence Day a million times, right? How does Independence Day start? What is the opening scene for Independence Day?
It's the guy finding it that has the telescope, right?
It's a shot of the moon landing, the American flag, footprints, and the shadow going over the moon.
Yes, it is.
Which I've watched that movie like 30 times, and I can tell you that I would not remember that at all.
No, yeah.
And the first scenes that came to my mind were the radio, and here's part of this. Right?
Yes.
The radio signals coming into the big dishes. I thought maybe that was the opening. It's not. And then I thought Jeff Goldblum playing chess with his dad was maybe the other opening. No, Jeff Goldblum doesn't show up for 12 minutes into the film.
That's a stare. Oh, and the one that I just thought of, the guy with his own telescope, that wasn't Independence Day. That was Armageddon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So crazy. It's unexpected things that, you run into and you don't know the history of, and you don't know where
really
they've come from and all of that.
That would just pass the 49th anniversary of the moon landing.
Right. Right.
Which we found out because we thought it was the 50th and we were wrong.
You walk on my Segway.
Oh, did I?
Segway.
Oh,
I had a Segway.
So sorry.
It was so pretty. It was going to go, things come from unexpected places, sort of like S35V and steel.
Well, you still could have done that.
You just were talking, though. And you
could have gone right after that.
You hurt my feeler.
You're going to make that noise the rest of this segment, aren't you? These are not the droids you're looking for.
These are. No, look, so I didn't know anything about S35VN steel other than I like the knives that I've got that have S35VN steel.
I knew it was an upgraded steel. I knew it was a good steel. Right. I didn't know why.
Right, so I went and looked it up because we're going to talk about knives that have S35VN and why they're a little more expensive maybe than what you're going to find on the market. And that's really the subject today. We're going to look at 4 different brands of knives that all have S35VN steel in them. Crucible Industries was already making a steel called S30V. It was a great steel. I mean, people liked it a lot, but it had some qualities that had some issues. And part of that was its edge retention, its ability to be honed and stropped and that kind of thing, that it was just a little too brittle, right? So lo and behold, renowned designer Chris Reeve goes,
of course, yeah.
You know, the irony of Chris Reeve going to a steel company and helping them figure out, the irony there is that the man of steel is Chris Reeve.
In the better of all of those movies, yes, he certainly was.
So, knife designer, not Superman.
Yes.
Chris Reeve goes to Crucible Industries and they start working on a new steel. And actually, what it was, they took out like 1.45% to 1.4% of the carbon from S30V. They added like something called niobium to it, right? So they added in, and it increased the toughness. They came up with a new steel called S35.
Oh, that makes sense. They pull some of the carbon out. It probably makes it a little bit more difficult to put an edge on it, but the edge will stay longer like a traditional stainless.
Right. So apparently it actually greatly reduces the level of micro bevel chipping that tends to plague S30V.
Okay.
And so like when you're using S30V really, really rough, you put all these little micro bevel chips in the blade, and it doesn't stay clearly as razor sharp is there. But if you use S35VN and you're using it rough, it now gives you the ability to have an edge that stays and to hone it quickly. So
that's awesome.
You can actually take this thing down a hone or a strop and get it sharp again.
So it's literally and that's why everybody says it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Between that high carbon ability to put a good edge on it and the harder stainless versions to actually retain an edge longer.
Right. Well, what's also kind of cool is that when S35VN comes out, there was already LMAX in some of these other brands that were like vanadium and like that high carbon feel. And so those guys are like, hey, LMAX is just as good. You know how many LMAX we see from cold steel?
Sure.
Yeah. So, but S35VN and LMAX are comparable.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
On those different steels. We have some cool knives to look at.
Oh, yeah, we definitely do. Andy picks these, and it's usually a surprise for me, and he did, and he always does a good job, but the 4 he picked today, it's a good variety. It's 4 very drastically different brands.
Yeah.
And they're all top-notch.
So what you're going to find out when you go and look, and if you see the letters S3 and letters and numbers, S35VN, if you look at these on our site, you're going to notice that you're going to get a price bump.
Yeah, you are.
It's just going to happen.
It's an upgraded steel.
Yes.
It's no different than going to any of the upgraded stills, upgraded handle materials.
Right.
You're going to pay for what you get in those cases. Mm-hmm. These 4 knives, any knife that has that S35VN, it's going to last forever, and it's going to stand up to whatever you want to do with it again, because it does resist those microchips. You can put just a tremendous edge on it. You can rehone it at a moment's notice without having to break out some huge system. And these 4 are great examples.
No, that's what I noticed when Harrington grabbed my 0462 and just stropped it for 2 seconds. It was razor sharp.
Yeah. I mean, it's the difference in the way the actual molecules that make up the steel in these knives.
So let's jump into this buck.
Yeah, definitely. So this is the Buck Open Season Lockback Skinner. It's got an OD green micarta handle, but more importantly, flick that thing out, an S35VN stainless steel blade.
Look at that thing.
I'm telling you.
The thumb disc on top of it.
Which I am a fan of the thumb disc over the thumb stud.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Absolutely.
Every time. But this one in particular is just the right place. It fits great in my hand. I'm a micarta fiend, so I love the handle. That handle is going to change tone and texture over time.
Look at the thickness on that thing.
It really is kind of amazing.
And this is what was the name of this one?
This is the Open Season. What is it? Open Season Lockback Skinner.
So I like that it has the jimping up here, so you can really get.
Oh, for sure,
yeah.
Just a great knife.
Mid locking back.
Almost 5 inches closed. The blade is 3.5 inches, and it comes with a really high grain leather sheath as well.
Right.
Nice. So this is a good knife for your hunting loadout this season. And again, because of that blade, if you need to do some resharpening, some honing in the field, a simple stone or a strop, you're ready to roll.
Right.
And if you happen to hit a bone while you're skinning, it's not going to chip or break the blade like crazy, because this is a high quality, fantastically hard steel.
Right. And what's the price point on this thing?
So this is $144.99.
Right.
Again, you take that price jump with that upgraded steel in almost every case. If this is a knife you're going to use and use a lot, especially if you're taking it hunting, that 145, it's worth it. Yeah. Worth it every time.
Yep. No, and it's USA made.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just a really, really nice buck knife.
And it's Buck. You really can't go wrong.
No, I think Buck puts a lot of nice research into their product to make it feel comfortable in your hand.
Yeah.
And you know how much trouble I have with those thumb studs and that stuff.
Yeah.
That thumb disc, I can just one hand that with no problem whatsoever.
It's perfect.
It is open and ready to go every single time. So that's one at 145 basically. The other one we have that we'll look at before the break is the Kizer, right?
Yeah, I dig this knife too. So this is the Kizer Knives Silver. And this has an orange-coated titanium handle and, again, an S35VN stainless steel blade.
And there's somebody else who puts a thumb stud in the exact right spot.
Yeah, well, they're probably the one exception for me on thumb studs. Kizer almost every time, 99 times out of 100, theirs are right in the perfect place for me.
Right.
I love the shape of that handle.
It's another one of those long, slim knives. It's really, really nice from Kizer. It's of course a Chinese maker. I like the stonewash finish on this blade.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty.
It's 8 1/4 overall. The blade's 3.5 inches.
That's deceptive, right?
It really is.
That doesn't seem like 8
it doesn't seem like that. But put it next to this one.
Yeah,
you can tell.
I mean, so look at that.
Yeah, it's just a tremendous knife. It fits great in your hand, and because of that slim design, it feels good, looks good in your pocket without taking up all of the real estate in your pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's a
Great
Kizer.
knife.
What was the price on this Kizer?
$70.
$70 for S35VN steel.
I know.
Right.
This is the good price point on this table. This is the one that is the go-to if you're looking to start in that S35VN.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
Kizer is a good brand, especially to try out some certain things and all of that.
Oh, sure.
Of course, the pop-top noise means we need to take a break.
Yes, it is time for a break, though I'm really excited about the next one we're going to look at.
Yeah.
I want to keep rolling.
Yeah, because it's cold. It's cold steel, right?
It is.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Guys, we are Guys Talk Knives, brought to you by Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com. Mm-hmm.
We need no other sponsor.
They do sign our checks.
Well, that's true.
It's one of those places that you can find just whatever you need. Any of the knives we'll show you today, you're going to find at smkw.com. Make sure you're going on and visiting. If you haven't been there in a while, check out smkw.com.
Oh, for sure. It changes all the time.
So, yeah. So, this is Guys Talk Knives. We'll be right back in a second after this break. And we're back.
And it's cold steel time.
It's so funny. It's like you hype it up for a cold steel thing. Like, yes, bring out the cold steel. I'm going to slice a pig with my S35VN.
No, you're not going to with this one.
I know.
Well, if it's a small pig,
like a little pet pig,
it might be.
Don't be slicing your pet pig.
This little pygmy pig, he doesn't deserve that.
That's
little
right.
pocket pig. This pocket knife may have the most vicious slip joint I've ever experienced.
I don't know if vicious is the right word, right? I mean, it is like
it's amazing.
It is amazing. That's what I would say about it more than
I want to
anything.
hear the click for this thing. You've got half stops too. Put it right next to the mic.
I'm gonna do it. The walk and talk of this thing, the détente is so strong that it actually sounds like a lock.
It kills me.
This is Cold Steel's version of a pen knife. It's a lucky.
I dig it. This is a slip joint cold steel pen knife with 2 blades, one plain, one serrated. It's got a pocket clip on the back just in case you're feeling a little tactical but a little traditional all at the same time. Maybe you're a little country, maybe you're a little rock and roll. You're Donnie and Marie.
Maybe you got the mullet right there in the back. You just, business in the front, party in the rear.
And you're driving an El Camino. The front is where you drive. The back is where you El Camino.
El Camino, which in Spanish means the piece of... Oh, sorry. Just kidding.
The Camino. No, I tell you what.
Carbon fiber
handles.
Yeah.
S35VN stainless steel blades on both sides. It comes in a velvet pouch, not pictured. This is
what would a cold steel pocket knife be without a velvet pouch?
Made in Italy.
Yes.
Made in Italy.
Yes.
This is your fancy little brother to your cold steel huge ombre that you've had for 20 years. I know
people that swear by this little thing.
I'm telling you.
You go online.
I won't
bring it up here, John. You go online and people talk about this all the time.
I have seen this on our website dozens of times in the last year and thought, I need to go find that in the showroom and look at it. I wish I had now because I really kind of want that knife.
What was the price point on this? It's
$94.99.
$94.99. Look at that finish.
I'm telling you, it's a beautiful little knife.
You brush steel up top and then the grind that happens.
There is great attention to detail on this. And again, listen.
Insane.
It's great.
Yeah. I like it. It's nice.
It is not what you usually see from cold steel. And I think is where they shine.
Do you think they sat around in a meeting at Cold Steel's like, hey, what haven't we done? Let's we've done a spear, we've done a giant smatch it, we've done baseball bats. What haven't we done? Oh, let's do a pocket knife.
Do a pocket knife.
But we have pocket knives, Lynn. No.
We don't want to cut manila ropes in half with this one. We just want a traditional pocket knife.
Right.
Well, don't make it here. Make it in Italy. All right.
Thanks. And do it out of carbon fiber.
An S35VN.
When we finish this, I don't want to feel it in my pocket.
I want the blade so tough that if I found something small enough to hack in half, that I could.
Yeah, exactly. Put S35VN in it. That's right.
It is.
Bring me a pig's eye.
Pig's eye. It's gorgeous though, and look at the serrations though. That's how you know it's Cold Steel. Those serrations are
vicious.
Yeah,
vicious.
I dig it.
I do too. Yeah.
It's such a great little knife.
It's so funny. It's hard not to talk about Cold Steel without a smile on your face. It is what it is.
Because at times you're just like, wow.
I mean, even the handle.
Dangerous.
When you look at this handle, John, go to 2 again. When you look at the handle, it's got the finger grooves in it.
They're not kidding around. Nice thing is,
right there, it's got the little finger grooves.
And I'm bringing this up for John. John said when he looked at it, he said, you know what? I think I'd take the pocket clip off. And you could.
And then Lynn would smack you around a little bit and say, put the clip back on.
No, if you just want to drop it in your pocket, let it ride.
That's true. Let it ride. Let it ride.
It's awesome.
Let it ride.
And then now on to the Big Daddy. Andy's excited.
Yeah, of course I am. You know who designed this.
This is ZT Fantasticness.
Yes, it is a sprint run.
It is a sprint run.
Yeah, it is a sprint run of the O46 isn't it? Why do I do that every single time? Let's see if I can get where you can actually see that come out.
So the O46 Sinkovich folding sprint run, folder sprint run. I'll say that right in a minute. Carbon fiber handle on this, black S35VN steel, and look at the darkness of that blade.
Oh yeah.
They've achieved a matte finish almost on that.
Yeah.
That's just gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. It's carbon fiber on one side, titanium on the other, reinforced frame lock.
You've got a Stonewash on that titanium on the back.
Actually, no, you've got it. It's just a black DLC coating, I believe.
It is. Yep. No, you're right. It is.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
This is basically an all-black version of the O46.
Yeah. Right? You've still got that KVT ball bearing system that makes, for me, that's what makes a ZT, is that smoothness, that action-gasm as you open that knife.
So here's
incredible.
The glory of S35VN. So a lot of times when they do these sprint runs, they upgrade the steel or whatever. They didn't even need to upgrade the steel here.
No, yeah.
So the O462, the O460, all of those, the one I have in my pocket right now, they're S35VN.
Exactly.
And that's what's in this knife.
Yep. We just made it all black. Or we didn't. They did.
We didn't. ZT did.
ZT did.
What was the price point on the CT?
$220.
$220.
But again, you're talking about a really big chunk of S35VN, carbon fiber, titanium for $220.
Right.
That's not bad at all.
And, and as I said to you and John before the show started, I really need to have this one too.
You do need to have that one.
So I can have the whole family. We have mama, daddy, and baby.
And then after he has that one, he's going to wear them in a bandolier, Chewbacca style, across his chest.
I'm just going to take whichever one I can get. I mean, come on. When you get action like this.
He's going to be Andy ZT hands.
I'm just going to walk up to Dmitry Sinkovich next time I see him, just kiss him full on the mouth. I love you,
and
Dmitry.
Then get stabbed.
I love you. He'll go, yeah, thank you. Somebody, security, get this man.
and then I'll be doing all the interviews from Blade Show because Andy's been removed.
Hey, you know what's awesome? Yeah, and I don't know when this is going to drop, but we've got some really cool something from Dmitry that happened.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. I don't know when this episode is going to drop. It may have already happened. It may just be about to happen.
It should be right about to happen, I would think. It'll be around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Can we?
But Knife Day. Yeah. National Knife Day is coming.
August 24th.
Yeah, but this has probably already happened.
Yeah.
Just looking ahead of the schedule.
So go back and look at all of the
so you need to find your friend Doc Brown.
Yes.
Go
back in time.
Capacitor and set the date back to August 24th, Friday, 2018.
You know what that DeLorean was made out of? S35VN.
That's right. It was brushed
because he went forward in time into 2009, got a DeLorean casing made, replaced it and then went back because he didn't need any rope.
But the question is, was it bead blast coated?
It was actually satin coated.
Satin coated?
It was satin coated.
These inside jokes. That's
We may eventually have to share that one.
We're going to walk out of this place one time and they'll just stab us.
They probably should.
Yeah, well.
With S35VN because it'll still hold its edge after stabbing.
That's right. Then you can just strop it a little bit and you're all good to go again, even if you hit a bone.
And then you can just sell that knife.
I do like that steel. I do like, you know, it is going to increase the price of your knife. It's just going to do it. It's going to do it. In the same way that if you jump from anodized aluminum to titanium, if you jump from stainless steel to titanium, if you jump from 440A even up to the end of the CR steels.
Oh, and it's the same thing if you're talking handle material or blade material.
Right.
If you jump to carbon fiber, if you jump to titanium and a handle, you're going to take a price point jump.
Right.
Don't be afraid of that, though,
right.
because if you want something that's going to last, it's going to put up to whatever abuse you throw at it. And that abuse is day-to-day use. If you're taking a knife hunting, that buck, you know what? That's probably the one you want.
Right. And I will say that it's not like your, we have the extra protectant sealant on your car that gets the sticker to go up at the car. It is not that.
No, not at all.
It is an actual upgrade in the steel.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a good deal. If you see that S35VN, know it's going to be a good steel for you. Know you're just going to pay a little bit more for it.
If you want to step into it and check it out, that Kizer's a great place to start.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good way to say, okay, yeah, I really do like the way this sharpens, the way this holds an edge.
Right.
I'm going to upgrade maybe to something bigger.
Right.
I'm going to, pick up this Sprint Run because, well.
Hey, let's give that Kizer away.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give away this Kizer. What was the name of this Kizer? It was a Kizer thingamababa.
The Kizer Silver.
The Kizer
Sliver. I can't read.
It's the Kizer dyslexia.
Yes, the Kizer Sliver,
right?
With an orange handle.
We're going to give this away. Just make a comment down here in the comments section or over there on Facebook. You'll get entered randomly to win this Kizer Sliver. It's gorgeous. We'll pull randomly for that sometime. This is Guys Talk Knives. We are brought to you by Smoky Mountain Knife Works, the world's largest knife store. smkw.com, 19,000 products and counting.
Yes, indeed.
If you are not following us on Facebook,
if you are not
following us on Instagram, if you are not following us on Twitter, I'm telling you guys, you are missing out.
Yep.
You are missing the opportunity to win stuff every single week.
All the time.
You are missing an announcement about limited editions, sprint runs, new steels. You're missing the show.
Well, and you also could be on our email list. And we blew out recently a Buck limited edition signed by CJ Buck, his own self, in 2 hours.
Yeah.
With our email list.
Because
they were gone. It was 30 knives out the door.
People lucky enough to have signed up for it, lucky enough to go onto that homepage and sign up for the email.
Yep.
They knew about it.
And our emails look good
they
now,
bought
too,
it.
by the way.
I love that the birds chirp at the end before we hit it. Guys, this has been another great episode.
Yes, indeed. Steely.
If we are humble, too. The bird just totally disagreed with me. This has been another episode of Guys Talk Knives. Be sure to check us next time.
With a necktie.
Check us out next time. Guys Talk Knives, smkw.com.